here's an interesting question that I think a few people might have forgotten about. We saw the system behave heroically in the face of NXT invaders. It was wonderful to see. I cheered, especially against factions like Dark State, who we're all going to boo. Is there any unfinished business there? Because I'd love to see that run back.
I mean, we wiped the floor with them, so I'm not really, I'm not really sure there's anything that has to be proven. Eddie and I have been wrestling. I've been wrestling 22 years. I think Eddie's been wrestling 24 years. I don't know if we have much to prove to developmental guys at this state. I don't think we need to do that. But if they want some, they can certainly come get some. That's sure. And like I said, now the system's even stronger than we were then. So if they want to get their ass whooped the second time, I would love to feed them to Bear Bronson.
What about you,
Yeah,
Bear? Go ahead. Sorry, but
no, yeah, no. If I was to answer honestly, the last three questions in one, I wasn't involved with, getting involved with the NXT talent and developmental talent and stuff like that. But if I was to answer these past few questions, it's that I'm coming from a very violent, uncomfortable, disturbing world of independent wrestling, violent wrestling, deathmatch wrestling. And Bryan is somebody who has pulled me up from the depths of hell when it comes to that stuff. So there is a sense of loyalty there. You had asked before, like, is he afraid of something like what happened to JDC happening to him? Or, you bring up the developmental talent, you bring up the history with Dark State, all that stuff. There is a much different sense of loyalty there, to where if Bryan points at someone in the locker room, no rhyme or reason, says, I need you to go hurt that person. I'm like, all right, cool. Where are they?
I've got a final question for you both tonight. And I don't know if I've asked Bryan before, but I'm going to ask you both. So finally, when you're not trying to take over the place, how is TNA as a home to you both?
Well, that's the thing, and I'm kind of going to bounce off your last question. I do drip with TNA pride. I'm very proud to be a TNA wrestler. It's been the perfect home for me for the past 6 years. So when a team like Dark State tries to, step all over that, of course I'm going to be the one to step up and shun them away. That said, I want to be the face of TNA, and that's going to be at Rebellion when the system takes all the gold and we're the faces of the company, wearing these titles, representing this company as we're on a ascension. On this new channel, this great platform that people are seeing our product, ordering the pay-per-views, buying the merch at TNAmerch.com. We want to be the focal point of all that. And it's just a big point of pride, across the board.
For me with TNA, this is a place where, you often see it in wrestling where the places that are not WWE are looked at as sort of stepping stones to get to WWE. And I feel like I'm very different in the sense that with TNA, like fully welcoming me as myself and giving me a home, I actually, and I don't think I've ever said this publicly, I look at TNA long-term as my home. I want to make it my home. I want to make it the place that if I can in my own way, make it the best place it could possibly can be. That is my plan. So I just as much as Bryan with how much he's done in TNA, I aspire to do the same. I want to be dripping with TNA pride, long term, not just as a stepping stone. I want it to be Bear Bronson's home for as long as I can make it, for as long as my career lets me.
That's an amazing answer, mate. Honestly, it's good. Let's be honest as well. Like TNA, it has got so much prestige now. We're talking literally decades of history and prestige. And there are wrestlers who are, who bleed TNA and are just as iconic in the industry as anybody from WWE or AEW or anywhere else. So it's absolutely achievable. Even when we saw Abyss a while ago on WWE TV, what a moment, because it just shows that TNA is kind of on equal footing now. It's up there. Like, it was a big deal a long time ago, and it's a big deal again. And it's obviously because of people like yourselves.